we are going to be talking about the MCU? Can we really call it that anymore? Why I say that is because with No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness basically confirming that old movies exist in Marvel canon, that we can't really call it the MCU anymore. I mean, we're even getting like Morbius, that is its own thing, that we don't even really know yet. But we have other stuff like all the Spider-Man movies, the X-Men movies, not knowing how many of those yet because Multiverse of Madness isn't out. And then we also have the Netflix series coming to Disney Plus, along with reintroducing Kingpin and Matt Murdock into the MCU proper. So, what I wanted to do today is try to figure out what the ranking system would be for the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. So, that's including every Marvel movie that came out. Quick disclaimer, I have not seen every single Marvel movie. I've seen most of them, but stuff like Punisher Warzone, I didn't see, or Fan 4 Stick, or I Try to Forget Elektra, and other things like that. But I have seen all the X-Men movies, and I have seen the original Fantastic Four and stuff like that. So actually, what I'm doing is I'm actually flipping through a list right now, really quick, and if there's any movies that I don't notice, that's when we're going to put that aside. So, obviously, we have the MCU proper, or MCU Prime. That's from where it started at Iron Man, all the way up to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and everything that's included in that. In that time, we did have some other superhero movies come out. However, those are not being counted due to the fact that, or counted in the MCU, due to the fact that we are not including movies that aren't specifically referenced as MCU canon. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that's already been confirmed to be part of the MCM. And that would be the 2 Spider-Man franchises. So obviously these two cannot exist in the same universe because we have different Peter Parkers and we have different villains that are basically the same characters. So like Green Goblin, Harry Osborn. We also have multiple Aunt May and stuff like that. So obviously these are 2 separate universes. So each Spider-Man universe gets its own universe. However, what I'm believing is that Venom and Morbius take place in the Webverse. And what I mean by that is that it's directed by Mark Webb, thus it's called the Webverse. And Raimiverse kind of takes place on its own timeline. Next, after that, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is actually on this list. Obviously, that's its own thing as well. Next, let's pick apart probably the hardest one to do, which are the X-Men movies. And off the bat, X-Men 1 through 3, and kind of, not really, but kind of, the X-Men prequels, or the Decade X-Men movies, are their own separate universes. This is because there's a lot of contradicting information that's flown between all of them. It originally was trying to be a prequel series and then it went on its own. So obviously they're their own. On that too, we're putting the Wolverine Trilogy in the same timeline as the original X-Men trilogy. So X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and Logan all take place on the same timeline as X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men United, and X-Men 3, The Last Stand. that's how that is going to go. Then let's just quickly talk about the Marvel shows, as in the Netflix series and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. These are Marvel canon, or MCU adjacent, I want to say, that they could take place, and this includes Runaways and Cloak and Dagger. They can take place on the Marvel timeline. It's just, it could possibly take place on a parallel timeline compared to that, just because there are some contradicting stuff and everything like that. And then we have what I want to call the Darkverse. And what this is kind of the original original Blade, which, disclaimer, I haven't seen the Blade movies, I know I need to, but the Blade movies and the original Daredevil, Elektra, Punisher, all those are in the same universe. They're in what I would like to call the Darkverse. And also in that, we're going to throw in the original Hulk, just because we have to kind of find a way to place that film. That's another one I haven't seen. But we also are getting Ghost Rider and everything like that in that canon as well. There's basically one other series that I want to throw in and talk about that we didn't really talk about yet. And actually two series. And one of them's Howard the Duck, which is its own universe. And I have seen that movie. And then the Deadpool movies, which I feel probably fit in the prequel X-Men universe, because we do get the prequel X-Men cameo in it. But now we're going to get to the second part of the video here really quick, which is actually a theory I kind of want to go more in depth next week, but I do want to mention it this week. And that is that we may be seeing something of Secret Wars happening. And what I mean by that is we might be picking apart people that we like from those other franchises. And I forgot to talk about Fantastic Four. You know what? Here, I'm throwing it in. So, the original Fantastic Four movies are in the Raimi-verse. But Fanforstic is the last Darkverse movie. I still need to see Fanforstic. I kind of refuse to see it, but yeah, we'll call that part of the Darkverse, because it looks like it's dark and edgy and gritty. But yeah, so that's how it is, and then we'll talk about Secret Wars next week. How about that? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that nerd Ryan telling you, have an amazing day, and we're all superheroes on the inside.